Hey YouTubers, so I'm back. It's been a while since I've been on here. I've been super busy with school and work and whatnot. But I had to make a video. They finally went and released America's Army Proving Ground on PS4. Those of you that know me, you'll know that I am ex-military myself. I spent 7 years in the Canadian Armed Forces. I played the original America's Army, but I have not touched the game since then. So this will be a nice little refresher for me into the mechanics of this game. I really like the concept of this game. For those of you that don't know this game was actually made in partner with the U.S. Army as a recruiting tool and also a training simulator for their troops. The original game was exactly what the basic training was for the U.S. military. So just give me 1 second here and I'm gonna jump right into the game. And for those of you that have been around my channel for a bit, I smoke a lot of dope. What my pipe will pull. Alright, let's go. So right off the bat, they give you access to your character itself. Now, kind of gone in here and played around with the character a little bit already. Well, with my rifleman. You'll notice you get 4 different classes. And you can go into the weapons and customize them each. Now, the customizations are, so far as I've seen, are just aesthetic. But outside of that, it's pretty much pointless to try to change anything right now, just because you only get the user-created skins for your weapons right off the bat. Okay, so instead of jumping online right away, we're going to jump into the training simulator. The reason I'm doing this is, again, because I'm ex-military myself. I want to see how they've done with this. And this is a really cool thing, too. On all the loading screens, they give you a link to the videos as well, but they broadcast a video of U.S. training, the arms that the U.S. military use, and different attachments for their weapons. I definitely like this video. This is the first time I'm seeing this one. The only other one I've seen was their breakdown of the M16 assault rifle. It's really cool to see some of the competitions that they do, for sure. So you can see down at the bottom there, it does show where all the videos can be seen, and it is directly from the U.S. military itself. And once the videos are done, it loads you straight into the game. So here we go. Now this is kind of like how they laid out the first game, only it was outdoors. Difference being is now they're just letting you go and pick things up on your own.
Crouch under the low stuff, on your belly for the lower stuff. There's a couple obstacles at the end to scramble over. Whenever you're ready, twinkle toes.
Okay, so right off the bat, they're going to throw you into an obstacle course, which is kind of cool because it gives you a chance to actually play through and try all the different controls that are available to you. Yeah, I'm a retired Canadian Corporal. I used to be in the Infantry as well as drive truck for the Canadian Armed Forces.
Before you mosey onward, the next area is live fire. I say again, it's real bullets going over your real melon.
Okay, so we're gonna have live fire in this section, which is pretty cool. See, that last section is really awesome because it gives you the basic controls of the game in a sense of actually doing some actual training simulations. So now this is teaching you how to take cover and giving you kind of a sense of urgency, which is really cool too, because I mean, in the Canadian Forces we use a similar kind of tactic without actually putting live fire over people's heads, because let's face it, that's just a training accident waiting to happen. We've all seen Full Metal Jacket. So now, looking at it from a game design point of view, that's actually pretty cool, because it gives you a chance to reinforce the skills that they just taught you on your own. So now they're going to give us a chance to try out some weapons and check out the firing range, which again, it's very similar to what they did in the first one, only this time they don't give you ammo right off the bat, which is kind of odd. So I guess I gotta go pick up one of these. Yeah, there we go. And there's no lock on auto lock, so you do have to aim on your own, which is kind of hard on the smaller screen with the streaming, but it's not too bad. The lighting could be done a little bit better to make it a bit easier to see what's downrange, especially with the darker targets. Because I don't know if you see this here, but I couldn't even see where the target was at first. It kind of blends in with the actual building itself, but it does make sense. So I don't know, is the training done? Yeah, okay, the training's done for that one. So you can go through and cycle through. I'm just gonna stick with the first weapon. This is kind of similar to, this sight on here is similar to what we use. This is their ACOG sight. It does have a 4x zoom on it, whereas we use a C79 optical sight, which actually doesn't have any zoom on it. We just use a drop assist when we're aiming at longer distances. So we actually keep our grouping using a we use our grouping to or we keep our grouping at a close proximity at long distances, just using regular optics. Whereas the US, they love to have their 4x scopes and all their advanced sights. So now this section is just basically giving you a chance to run back through the same range, only giving you the option to lay down fire when going from the kneeling position. This is the reason that they're doing this, is to show you a little bit more, or show you how the stability changes depending on your stance. And as you can tell, as I aim down the sights here, you can see there's a lot less, there's no weapon sway really. You can kind of see a very slight sway, but that's about it. Now I'm not sure how you're supposed to get the targets to appear again, because that does not look like a target ahead of, oh, it is a target, okay. See again, and the lighting should be a little bit different because this is a training course, so you're not supposed to be actually acting as if you're in combat. This is more like a weapon familiarization shoot. Oh, and now they're giving us glowing markers to show us. Fuck. There we go. Okay, and now we go to prone, and I'm gonna switch over to some iron sights. Being a Canadian infantry, I'm a little bit more comfortable with iron sights than using a zoom. Mind you, we use iron sights at close range, not at long range. You also don't have button sensitivity. Oh, there it is. And again, lighting's still a little bit off. Could be done better, but it is what it is. Now, oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with the sensitivity a little bit here. Oh wow, it's almost down. I like a nice smooth moving. There we go. Slow is smooth and smooth is fast, as we say in the infantry. Don't rush things. Unlike the US military where everything is rushed, the only downside is when you do change the sensitivity, I'm noticing that it also changes the sensitivity when you're walking, which is not the nicest. So I'm gonna try turning it up a little bit here. That's a little bit better. Oh, we're using grenades now. Okay, so it's actually going through as if we're going into an actual grenade training simulator, which is pretty cool. In where we do ours, we kind of just do it outside, and you dive down behind, or you duck down behind a wall. This is a similar idea, only they use concrete barriers in there to contain the frag. Also, it is a game, so they're not going to do it quite accurate. Oh. And you see, they actually have proper drop on it, which is impressive, because most games you just aim and fucking huck your grenade and it goes in. This is nice because it actually has the proper drop to it. And if you hit the guy, it doesn't automatically drop, it bounces off with the proper physics, so... Wow. That's a little bit more drop than what I expected, added higher arc, but... Hitting the top, there we go. Fast obscurant, throw fog.
Good effect. That's enough with the grenades, chicken wing. I can only take so much. Next up is the shoot house.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what the point of that was, because it said to use an airburst. Maybe that was supposed to simulate an airburst, but that was definitely a smoke grenade and completely ineffective.
In the shoot house, you'll clear rooms littered with pop-up targets. You will move and shoot at close speed.
Oh, it won't even let me fucking pistol whip it.
And take corners like you don't mean to get shot. Pick up the provided M4 with appropriate optics and step up to the door and wait for my signal.
Alright, so we're gonna walk through and we're gonna be doing a house breach and clear. So they're giving us just a basic red dot optical sight, which is perfect for this. I might even suggest doing iron sights for this, but this is what they're giving us to use, so I guess that's what we're gonna do. One thing I'd like to point out just before I go in here is, if you notice, they're actually showing you a almost picture perfect stance for holding your rifle and standing going into the room without the guy holding a rifle, to show you how you should actually move into a room. You'll notice that his shoulders are actually just over shoulder width apart, knees slightly bent. It's perfect. You want to lean slightly forward, giving yourself a nice decent firing base. Okay, so I didn't expect that. Check your corners. Stack up on walls. Now, if they have satchels there, I don't know if there's going to be a guy here, but there is. So just take your time. Again, Canadian Forces motto, slow is smooth, smooth is fast. I don't know why they would actually put a dive and slide into this, but again, it is the US military, so they're kind of more the we've got lots of numbers, so let's do some stupid shit. Wow. And lighting again. Now, this is also kind of hard to do with proper tactics when you only have one person. Normally, I would have another guy behind me moving to the opposite corner of me, taking the opposite kills as me. And we would always stack up on every wall, but again, this is a video game, so being on my own in this, it's kind of a little bit more difficult. Lighting is really fucking crap in this section, so actually, we're gonna just try something here. Gamma. See if that's a little bit better. Oh, what the fuck? Oh, okay, so it's going to teach us how to do field self first aid. So this is it showing you that you actually have to hold your square buttons when you're trying to hack and things like that. Just kind of, I don't know, redundant. I'm not a big fan of games that do that because it's just making objectives take longer to hold. But it does give you a little bit more immersion, just under the sense that if you were in the field, you'd actually have to hack the thing. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, so the spotting, in what? In those US barbs. Not sure what you're talking about. But anyways, I ended up getting that done. It was kind of confusing. They don't quite tell you that you have to watch down in the center section there. Again, with the lighting, it kind of blends in. But if you use sighting and you miss your target, you have to wait 5 seconds for it to go through. Yeah, no, I know what sodium chloride is. I'm talking about the US barbs. Okay, so now we're going through to learning how to zip tie and secure enemies. Apparently you can keep them quiet by zip tying them if they're not fully dead. Cool idea. Definitely a cool idea. Only, if you're in this situation and you're moving quickly, I would never suggest zip tying an enemy. I mean, it is a game, so it does make sense that they would throw it in there, just to give a little bit more objective style stuff. But it is what it is. Again, I would probably. Oh yeah, of course I'm knocking the U.S. military. I'm ex-Canadian military. It's friendly rivalry, bro. But yeah, fucking. So zip tying a guy if he's not quite down is probably not the best idea. I would probably knock him out, but again, it's a game. They're just teaching you how to revive people, which is the exact same way as zip tying people, so it's kind of redundant. They could just basically tell you that if it's a friendly, you revive them. If it's an enemy, you zip tie them. But I do like how they do that. How they kind of break it down a little bit more for you in the sense that it is a training simulator, after all. Okay, so what are we doing here? Spot enemy, spot enemy. Oh, okay, that was it. So it's kind of very basic breakdown for the tutorial. So I think this is more that they expect that people have played the previous games, so it gives you just kind of a refresher. Now, they also have 2 shooting ranges you can get into, and from what it looks like, the Explorer is going through and teaching you the different gameplay styles, as well as the different maps, giving you a chance to look through them. So I'm actually going to jump into one of these here, and then once we get through this, I'll go back into try the online and check it out.
Those 10 weeks are gonna go by so fast. Just know that everybody that's there are in the same boat as you.
When a soldier pulls up to reception, they first see their drill sergeant and they're thinking, oh my God, what have I gotten myself into?
You have to have your mindset that, hey, I'm going through with this, I'm gonna do it, and everything will work out. Not everybody can wear this uniform. It's actually a privilege.
When we get them day one,
That's very true. One thing they want to teach you is everybody's in there together. Everybody's always working as a team. That's something big that you have to keep in mind. All right. So we're in the Explore level here. It looks like it's just giving us a chance to start in here, check around. I'm not seeing any enemy activity, though we did just spawn into the map. So I'm going to take my time slightly, check my corners, get a basic understanding of what we're looking at in here. So still no enemy activity. And again, we're by ourselves, so being that we're going in this solo, it's kind of hard, again, to check every corner by yourself. So just keep that in mind, that you're going to have to take a little bit longer. Okay, so yeah, these missions are literally not actually a mission, it's just running around. So you can take a chance to explore the levels a little bit. So I'm not going to bother going too in-depth into these levels. I'll let you guys check those out yourself. I'm more interested in the gameplay. So the training area was very short. It just gives you a quick refresher on how to play the game, aiming, shooting, how to throw grenades, gives you a chance to try out the controls and teaches you the controls, and then gives you a little bit of live fire action to enforce that. Definitely a concept in my eyes. I think it's this game's definitely one of a kind. You're not going to find anything that's quite as accurate to what U.S. training is outside of a game like this. But that said, I highly suggest going back and playing the first America's Army just to get a grasp on the overall concept of these games, because there is a lot to them, and it does go into U.S. training fairly well. Alright, so I'm going to jump back into the main menu here. Holy fuck, this is goddamn clogged as hell. Alright, give me 1 second here, people. Just gotta fix up my bomb or my pipe. Somehow it's managed to get completely clogged over. Oh yeah. And I will jump right back in 2 seconds. So I'm going to jump into the online play now, since we've gone through the tutorial, showing you how it's just a basic overview of the game. It doesn't really give you any concept of where you're going with the game, other than, you know, you get your videos in between. And obviously it's America's Army, so it is a training game. It was designed for recruiting and for actually training people. So here we go, jumping in. See how long it actually takes to jump into a lobby here.
My name is Chief Warrant
Oh,
Officer
not too bad.
William Jones. I'm a Geospatial Engineering Technician, and I'm currently assigned to the Army Geospatial Center. We provide geospatial engineering expertise to not only the Corps of Engineers, but subordinate Army units around the globe. There's some science behind it. It's going to be along this route. There's a lot of math behind it, but there's also a lot of art behind making a map or making a geospatial engineer product in a three-dimensional computer-generated environment. So almost like a gaming system type of environment. Every week there's something new. It's color imagery and it's elevation data. Something different. The laser is painting the surface of the earth, and it's always challenging.
Now, cool little thing about that too is I'm currently, now that I've retired, I've blown out my knees, can't really do much physically when it comes to work. I'm in game design. I went into programming to basically learn how to make games like this. And one of the cool things is this may be the first game of its kind, being like the series of America's Army. But at the same time, being a one-of-a-kind game, we have similar systems to this in the Canadian Forces, and I'm sure they have other similar systems to this in the US Forces as well. Now, one thing I'm not too keen on with this game, now that I've gotten into the online play here, is that there's no respawn here, which makes sense, but there's also the issue that it just jumped me into a game dead. So I had no chance to even do anything that round. Alright, so we're getting in here. Now this is completely different from the rest of the America's Army games. If you played the other ones, you'll remember that you had more of a actual mission base that you're going with, and it wasn't quite so Call of Duty like. I mean, the realism, I'm sure, is still here with bullet drop and whatnot. I'm sorry about that. I'm pretty sure that the bullet drop is pretty much the same, and things like that, but outside of that, there's not much training here. They gave you the very basic training video, but now we're being thrown directly into combat, very Call of Duty style. Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, to be honest with you. I was expecting something closer to something closer to the original instead of this. And it didn't really give us any, or give me anything to know what I'm doing here, aside from on-screen prompts once the game started. You don't really get to choose a gameplay style. The gameplay is pretty smooth. There's not much lag to it, which I do like. I'm not quite sure if I killed that guy, which is kind of retarded. Mind you, I wasn't watching the things on my HUD to see if I killed him or not. I do like that everything's kind of minimalized, though. Come on, motherfuckers, where are you? So again, this is not very, very much like the original series, but I don't know. I'll give it a chance, see what it's like. Not sure what this is. Okay, so I did get that kill. So it gives you a chance to choose your loadout at the beginning too, which is kind of cool. Fairly standard, but you actually get to change the oh, got hit by a grenade. Damn. You get a chance to actually change your attachments, which is really cool. And you got to pay attention to shit like that. You revived. I think that's probably the only realistic aspect of this game, but it's all pretty much hardcore Call of Duty, minus the super unrealistic weapon systems. Now, that said, if you got a good team on here, and you had more of a objective standpoint, that, or maybe just a big crew of people on here, this game would be amazing. Alright, so I'm going to leave it at that. This has been my first look at the game. I'm just going to play through this last match here and see how far we can get. But as you can see, there's not really any coordination going on. Guys, we may be going in the same direction for the most part, but it's more so because there's a lack of other places to go. And I mean, it's kind of just gung-ho, run-and-gun crap, just the standard as all other games like this. Alright, so 4 minutes left in this match, and then stream's done. Because, yeah, not too impressed. Again, it's very, very basic. Get to the objective against these guys however you feel like it. No teamwork. No actual tactics. Just run and gun.
Get cover, grenade!
Oh, I almost shot you, motherfucker. And see, this is why coordination is key. Because if you're not coordinated, you shoot your buddies in the face. Mike. Alright, well, peace out.